All right. For the 300D, there's something that will connect that to the stand. Can we get that out? Yeah. Put it on the stand.
This is for this.
Figure it out. Put it on.
You might have to switch over if that's.
How many
Well,
buttons?
this is a
I don't.
Yeah.
What loosens?
You gotta.
Well, this loosens.
All right. Then what does that do?
It makes it bigger.
All right. So what are you going to do with that?
Clamp it on.
Yeah. Clamp it.
Yeah, that one,
Boom. Right here. Go here.
Just here? Okay.
Yes. Now, where's it? Does it say aperture on it anywhere?
I would maybe flip it as well. So
Flip it.
the thingy, or I guess, yeah. like
Yeah.
that.
Aperture should be right side up, or you've got it upside down. Okay. Can you click the controller in there? Figure out how to do that.
I know you looked that up.
Just run.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you
You see me that way?
Oh, remember that, yeah.
At the bottom in first. Bingo. It's on. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were lucky.
All right. Fire it up.
Striking.
Wherever you think Rembrandt lighting is going to be, and then we will move it.
Striking.
You are correctly on the short side, which is the side we see the less
Did I just
of.
turn it off?
I'm gonna go get, I'm about ready to get headphones. I'm putting your yoga down there.
Oh wow, that is weird.
It would, I would assume it would be the giant, but
No.
it's not.
Okay. Let's look at something here. Up here on top, where this is going to your power outlet and is going into here. This is plugged in to something that says DMX. And one thing I can tell you is DMX is not what we're using. Nope, 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 no. It's not. That's not the problem. This is the problem.
Oh, put it into the top.
Is it?
Oh.
Striking!
Striking.
Should have thought about that.
All right, Matthew, can you look at yourself, please?
There's some kind of triangle there.
It's getting close, but what I don't like, don't move your head. I don't like this. I'd like that shadow to go down here and close off here. So what do we have to do that?
You said you want the shadow to.
I want this shadow to cover this.
So we gotta move it slightly.
Gotta move it in some direction. I would not move it left or right.
Oh, backwards.
Backwards.
I would not move it backwards.
Oh, go forward then.
How do I make a shadow go down? You move the light up. There you go. Keep going. Now that to me is nice Rembrandt light. Okay. Everything recording?
Like a serial killer.
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Can
Stay or smile, dude, you're making me uncomfortable.
Let's even wire these up here. It's intensity. It is contrast. It is quality. It is direction. It is shape, and it is color. So we just picked direction for our key light. Okay? If we're going to do a 3-point lighting setup, we are going to also need a fill light, which means we need a 120D set up right over here beside the camera. Good job.
Hey, is your refrigerator running?
Oh, that's not the battery, that's kind of the,
I got you. Hey, I got you. Get your hand out.
All right, that's what the light meter is telling us proper exposure is. It feels a little hot to me, but we'll live with it for now.
Might be.
Got to push the button back.
Oh, little buttons. True. That's what'll get you.
That one right there.
Yeah,
Back.
it's not pushing. Oh, put it back.
Okay. So we're waiting for batteries. Let's not wait for batteries. Let's plug it in. We'll put batteries on it later if we need to. Meanwhile, we need another C-stand set up. Do we have another C-stand somewhere? Someone will be working on that.
How high it would need to be. What's the deal?
Oh, that is bright.
Yes, it
I
is.
was putting another light on here.
Oh, and you've never heard of a Gary Coleman?
I have not.
That's, okay, well now I feel bad, guys. I didn't say that.
That's okay. There's lots of things I haven't heard of.
A little racist lane.
A little bit.
Okay, we got this powered up yet? What's taking so long?
What are you using the C stand for?
We're gonna put another light on it in a second, so we do need to leave the arm on the top. Actually, that didn't make a lot of sense, but we do need the arm on the top. And you would not take it off this way. Put it back in where it was. If you were gonna use this as a light stand, you just get rid of this whole thing.
Oh.
It comes off, right? But I am gonna need that arm, so we're gonna leave it on for now.
Alright.
All right.
See this real quick? Yep.
There we go.
Now, one of the things you may have noticed is that I turned this light up, I cranked the exposure down, and the background got much darker. Right now, we're at 100%. If I take this down to 50, and then I adjust the exposure, background's starting to get a little brighter, right? So one of the things you can do to darken background, if you want to, is just to crank your key light way up. Also, moving your key light away from your subject or closer to your subject will also darken the background, but that's our light background back there. We're not really seeing it. Okay, did we demonstrate, is this the lab we did or did not demonstrate the light box, the soft box with the grid?
We did demonstrate this off.
Good, so I don't want to worry about that today. Okay, can we crank that on, please? What are we at?
We see Ron doing it.
Take it down to 20.
Creeping back.
At 20.
Bring it up to 30, 40, 50. Okay. So we are at, actually, I'll turn this back up. Let's start all the way up, and then we'll creep things down if we need to. All right. So this is an 11, which is what you would normally think of shooting in sunlight. What are we on that now?
50.
50? All right, let's see what that is. 50 would be a 4. So we've got 4, 5.6, 8. We've got about a 4-stop difference. Let's decrease in terms of contrast. Let's decrease that a little bit. Let's take it up to 65. All right, let's see. 5.6. Is that what I just said? 5.6? No, 5.6, 8, 11. That's about a 2-stop difference. So that's kind of a reasonable contrast if we're just trying to think of doing, and this is all we're starting off with, just a nice, reasonable interview process. Okay? One of the things I am going to do, because I want to be able to demonstrate something here, let's just do this a little bit. Let's get some light on the background as well. Okay. The next light that we would set up would be a backlight. If we do a traditional backlight, it's going to be here, which is going to put it in the shot. Now this one is a little scary. It's going to be okay. And this one we definitely want to try to put on a battery. We need the other 120D. And we need several sandbags.
Where are
Are they in the
more batteries? Sandbags are on the coast.
Okay, let me do this one. Let's get the cover off it.
Oh, this one needs a sandbag.
Hey, where is that?
Right here.
Oh.
There we go. Gotcha.
What you will notice is a standard yoke on the end of this C-stand arm. Okay, now, we now have a lot of weight. So one of the things we want to do is put a sandbag on this to counteract this part of the weight. Let's do that first, Ryan. Put it right up here. Hang it on that. No, here.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so that's counteracting some of this weight. We also want weight on the C-stand. And now we want to power this up.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if it comes on. Oh, hold on, turn it off.
You didn't do this one.
Oh, I thought it was still on, never mind. All right, turn it on, let's see.
Striking?
Okay, now, let's kill it for a second. What I want to do is, we want this cable to be out of our way, so we're going to wrap it around the arm. Okay. Now, we're going to plug this in here. We're going to hang this on this highest nut, which will eventually cause us some problems. Let's get that on there, Brian, if you don't mind. So it's going to get a little bit out of our reach, but now we can let that hang. Okay? Now, to get a traditional backlight, what we have done is we've taken the stand and we've moved it off center so it's no longer on the camera. Okay? So what we're going to do now, and I need extra hands on everything. I'm going to go up. Okay. Especially when you tighten up. Let's go up just a little bit further. Okay. Let's get, do we have any more sandbags? One more. Yep. All right. Striking. We're going to take this up. It's on 100 now. So what a backlight like this gets us is this kind of outline, which basically brings our subject, separates them from the background. Even though we've got a pretty bright background, we do have this kind of separation. Now, I will tell you, we're not going to stick with this for long. I'm going to get rid of this before too long, because a lot of people, and I'm kind of that opinion, maybe for an interview it's fine. We're going to change this into something else. Are getting tired of seeing this. This is just something, it's a little artificial. You know, what is the motivation for that light? Is it an overhead light? Is it sunlight coming in from somewhere? We kind of don't really know. So a lot of people are kind of beginning to get rid of this, but it is a standard part of the three-point light setup, so we're going to leave it for now. Now, one of the things I want to look at is how much we're getting off this light right now. Okay, so that's an F13. This is an F11. I would normally want in terms of contrast, I'd probably want my backlight to be about 2 stops brighter. Right now I'm at 100 on this, I'm at 100 on that, right? All right, so I need to bring this down. I'll bring this down, let's just go to 80 and see what that does. I'll have to adjust the exposure here in a second. How did it get brighter? Hold on. That's why. Okay. All right. That gets us down to about a 10. This again was a 13, so I want a little bit more difference. This is all arbitrary, by the way. This is just me making a random decision. Take it down to 75. Our reading on that. It's a 10. Reading on this. It's a 14. That's about a 2-stop difference. It's not much different than where we were, though. Let me try to get this down to an 8. Okay, I know this. There we go. It's taking a minute to figure it out. Okay, that's about a 2-stop difference. So what we've got now is I've got key light we're exposed to, 2 stops under for the fill, 2 stops over for the backlight. Okay, now as I look at this though, a couple things I don't care for. One of them, and do we have another C-stand or are we out?
That's it.
We're gonna need another couple.
Got it.
Probably.
How many?
2, let's get 2.
Got it.
You need a hand with it from anybody?
No, I got it.
Brian,
sure?
got you.
Yeah, no, I can do it.
All right. So let's do this first. What I want to do is soften. It's a little harsh looking right now. If we kill the fill light, for example, right, we can see how hard these edges sort of are. Let's kill the top light for a second, the back light. Let's just see what each of these lights are doing. Okay, so that's our key light. Let's turn on our fill light. That's what our fill light is doing. Okay, and let's turn on our backlight. Oh, sorry. Let's turn off the fill light. I'm sorry. That's what our backlight is doing. Okay. What you can see is by just turning the lights on and off, we're getting different looks, right? This is obviously quite a different look than we had before. Now, one of the things I'm going to be playing with here in a minute, let's turn that back on too, is the background. The background is pretty horrible looking, right? It's flat, it's an ugly wooden door. So one of the things that you have to do is just kind of play around with, what can you move? What can you brighten up? What can you turn on? So that we can get that background. Now I can also go in here with a light. I'm not going to do that right now. Bring this door in a little bit, maybe get, I can't quite see them, right? Maybe get a little bit of kind of reflection coming off the door, right? So that's already a little more interesting, wouldn't you say? All right, somebody needs to set up a C-stand. And actually you need both of them set up, so if somebody wants to, and it shouldn't be David. David knows how to do this. There you go, Lane, good job.
Does this light still need to be on 65?
Sorry?
Does this light still need to be on 65?
Yes. Let's leave everything where it is. It's going to change in a minute, though. It's going to change drastically in a minute.
Maybe that one's not a Jerry Coleman.
I'll try the trick.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Going the wrong way. Okay. What do I have to do to soften the light?
You have to put something over it, diffuse it.
And specifically, what is that doing?
We are making the light cover more area.
We're making the light bigger. The source of light hitting our subject is going to be bigger. All right. So somebody take this flag and put it between our light and our subject. Yep. And let's do it on this side, just to be safe. Why don't you bring it, before you put that on there, bring the whole seat. Let's do it over here.
And this is imitating kind of clouds.
sort of.
Well, I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be eliminating anything. It could just be a broader light source. We don't have a, in an interview situation like this, we may not have a lot of motivation for the lights that we're using, but we could argue that it's going to have the same kind of effect.
So between key light and house?
Hey, Brian, will you let just put his hand on them?
Yeah.
All right, so one of the things we want is it to be bigger, and it's so close now, it's not doing much. So we're going to move, all right, let's do this. Hold on, let's get this thing straight. All right, bring it down a little bit, Brian. Brian, let's do this. Okay, and let's bring it down. All right, keep going, keep going, keep going. Let's just get it straight so we can work with it. And now instead of, let's just take the whole stand up. Okay? Okay, and okay. All right, now one of the things we can do because of this soft edge, if we decide we want to, is we can make it feel like there's a little bit of light hitting his shoulder. Okay? Now, what's happened is we've created softer light. Oh dear God in heaven, it doesn't have a strap on it. Okay, no, it does. Okay. Where'd the strap come from? I thought it was gone. All right. We've also cut down the amount of light. So we're going to have to make all sorts of adjustments to get this look.
Striking.
Okay, so right now, we've turned this down to a 5.6, but I've got some over here, so just for the time being, let's take this back up to 100. This is now a 7.1. All right, so we're going to be about there. Now, we can obviously see we have drastically softened up the shadows, right? But we've also lost a lot of contrast because now this light's not that much brighter than that one. So we want to go with the fill light. What are we on now?
65.
Let's take it down to 40 and see what that gives us. All right, let's see. 2.2, so it's a little more than we had before. We're at 40, let's take it up to 50. That's a 3.2, and we're on, let's see, that's about 3.5 stops different. Let's take it up to 60. Where were we before?
65.
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it at 50. To the naked eye, that looks good. So now we've still got what's happening over here with the shadow, right? We've still got we've still got some shadow, and our distinction, it's a little harder to see because the shadows are so soft and they're blending so much more. Okay, now we've got this top light, backlight, which is 13. Let's bring that down. What are we on?
100.
Let's go down to 80.
Got it.
Okay, that's a 9, and we're at a 6.3. So that's about, so we're kind of back to where we were. We've got about a 2-stop difference between the key side and the fill side, about a 2-stop difference between the key side and the backlight. Okay, so this is just kind of standard. Let's do an interview kind of setup, right? But I do want to look at a couple of other things. Let's move that C-stand out of the shot if we can, please. We'll need that in a minute. And that's a good spot for it. We have done something to bring a little bit of interest into the background. When I'm over here, I can't see. I'd rather have this. And again, I could throw lamps in here. I've lit this room with iPhone flashlights. Let's just imagine we don't have any more lights. We just turn that. We don't want it to draw too much attention. But if we're doing rule of thirds, we've got something back there of some interest. This, however, is really ugly. Now, one of the reasons is I'm still getting that with hard light. This is shading our subject. It is not diffusing our background. I think that's a good thing. Maybe we do something else with the background. Get the Venetian, the white Venetian for me real quick. Got it. All right. Let's just give this a little sense of place. This is nothing. It's not magical or anything.
Bless you. Thank you.
All right. So we can actually put that in here. Let's hang it under it. Yeah, like that, right? It's got some teeth there, it'll hold on to it. Okay. All right. We'll bring this out here. All right. Swing it around, bring it up. Now, David, do you mind stepping out? David, do you mind stepping out? Okay, so we've broken this up a little bit, and we've also made it a little bit dim, so it's not competing in terms of brightness, right? Now, believe me, I'm not saying this is the greatest lighting setup that ever existed, but we're dealing with almost all of our issues so far. We are dealing with intensity. We are dealing with contrast, right? We are dealing with direction, Rembrandt lighting. We are dealing with quality. We have softened the light. We are dealing with shape, right? We have allowed the light to hit back there, and then we've blocked it off to give it some kind of sense of dimension, you know, some sense of life. Now we can abstract that a bit more, right? Or we can make it even more specific. I kind of like, basically, kind of like where we were, right? We can also give it a little bit of an angle, more angle than we had.
Bowen, this is very last minute, but I have something I need to take care of.
Okay.
I just wanted to
All right.
make sure you know.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing that bothers me a little bit is I think we're a little underexposed. I think I'd like to see his face. And sometimes we think about with, are we in focus? Yeah. Sometimes we think about with flesh tones. Here's the other problem. When we think about flesh tones, we think about people that look like me a lot more than we think about people that look like you, right? And there's a reason for this. There is institutional racism. I know this is a shock. There is institutional racism in exposure, in color correction. Every device that we use is calibrated to give us the proper exposure or the proper color for a white person, right? And I know if I put that up there, right, and I put someone, let's say this, I put somebody up here who's wearing really dark clothes, right, and I take this light reading, right, their clothes are going to get darker. If I put somebody up here with much darker skin, I'm getting the same light reading. It's calibrated for white skin. So I would need to make adjustments to that, right? And even so, I tend to think that skin tones, no matter what they are, ought to be overexposed about a stop. And a lot of people, a lot of cinematographers kind of agree with that, okay? So I've brightened this up just a little bit. Would you accept this as an interview setup?
Yes.
Okay, well let's change a couple of things. Here's what I want to do. I want to start moving this setup away from what is just kind of a nice medium sort of thing, right? I want to go towards low key. There are two, but again, it's a spectrum like everything is. There is low key lighting and there is high key lighting. Low key lighting is there's more dark in the image than there is brightness. And high key lighting is there's more brightness than there is darkness. So you go see a horror movie, right? It's more than likely, it might be Midsommar, in which case it doesn't work, but more than likely, or a film noir, or a detective movie, or a thriller, it's going to be mostly low-key lighting. It's going to emphasize the shadows over the bright areas. You go see a romantic comedy, you go see a Jane Austen movie, you go see Little Women, you watch a commercial on TV where they're showing off a kitchen. That's probably going to be high-key lighting. You're going to be some bright areas, you're going to see sun coming in. The idea is that high-key lighting creates this sense of warmth, right, that is comforting, and that low-key lighting creates this sense of mystery. What is it in those shadows, right, that makes it a little more suspenseful, a little more tense, a little more dramatic. So we're going to go with this one. We're going to go to low-key lighting. And I'm going to do several things, and then I'm going to hand it over to you guys. The first thing I want to do is get rid of the backlight, because I kind of agree. If I'm trying to do something that's more dramatic and more realistic and more motivated, I don't know what that light is. Oh, by the way, it was one other thing. We never did color. See if you can, let me have an orange and a blue. Any kind, doesn't matter.
Got it.
If I wanted to try to motivate this light a little bit more, I could decide to make it feel a little more, all right, like sunlight. It's also dimming it a little bit, but it's giving it, I could make it try to feel a little more like daylight with some warmth, right? We could play around with the color of all these, but generally speaking, we're doing an interview setting, you're probably not going to do that, but we're going to do it now. All right, so the first thing I want to do is kill this light. I don't want to get rid of it. I don't want it here, okay?
Saving.
So let's get several hands on it. I love the way these C-stands look like they're about to bend. And I think maybe to a small extent they are. I keep saying Brian Bowen. Brian.
It's hard it both ways.
So since we've already got this here,
You may take it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
so let's look at a couple of things very quickly. Let's look at what happens. We're on batteries, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me see this real quick. Let me hang it on here because I'm getting ready to move it. Something interesting happens when you start to move the key light and the fill light away from each other. Look what's happening to the center of the face.
Darkened in the center.
Yeah, so the fill light's only hitting this. It's not hitting this area anymore. So we've created a little stripe in the middle of the face where there's no fill, right? That's already beginning to look a little slightly more dramatic and sinister, isn't it? All right. Now, let's, instead of, just use this as a light stand for now. Instead, do we have a, yeah, good. Do we have barn doors on that one?
Yep.
You don't have to.
Okay.
So we'll use this again as a light stand. We're gonna, let's put it on, I think put it on the stand.
Got it.
Right, use that first. Oh, you gotta take this out. Oh, it's out.
It is
That's right,
out.
never mind. I have it on this side.
Just kind of,
There we go. That's it.
nope, there we go.
There it is.
Yes.
All right, so open it up. Instead of it being that backlight, let's fire this up.
Striking.
Let's make this what's often referred to as a kicker. So it's still giving us the same kind of function. It's helping us create kind of a definition between the foreground, a subject, and the background, right? It doesn't have that weird sort of light just coming from above kind of feel to it. Now, it's really hot right now. So one of the things I would say that would be good to do to this is to give this some color. David, do you know if you can find, let's go with blue. Let's go with a really thick blue. And since this is an LED and it's not going to get that hot, actually I think this is actually just our good gel in it. Here. And then put one. Actually, you probably don't have it. You need to put it right here.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we've just made it colder. You see the blues here. Let's double that up. Maybe even one of the party gels. Maybe one of the blue party gels, that real thick one that's melted into pieces.
Okay.
And where we got the blue tape, that'll help for this.
Blue tape is next to the camera. Good.
Oh,
Are you okay? Oh.
Sandbags.
Yeah, sandbags, I love them.
Sandbags do not stop you from tripping, unfortunately.
Hey, what if you had enough?
Bowen's down, but the
Can't
stand
move.
is up. Is that just a poster board, Bowen?
This, yep, that's all it is.
I'm investing in one of those on the way.
Okay, let's kill the fill light, somebody. Okay, so let me try something. I need another pair of barn doors.
Here's the Rembrandt.
You've still got Rembrandt.
You look like you about to confess to the murder of 3 people.
It's actually 4.
I killed them all.
Yeah,
And I enjoyed it.
Confess to the fourth one.
I did.
Maybe too many.
Okay, all right, let's fire this back up, please.
Striking.
Kill that.
Murdered them.
Manhandle the barn doors.
Murdered them all.
Oh my gosh.
No remorse.
Can we bring the, what are we on the back light, on the kicker?
100.
Oh, we are on 100? Okay, obviously then that's what that's gonna stay at. Well, we're getting a little something there. I think it's more interesting for what we're trying to do. Let's you just eliminate the fill light.
Saving.
Okay,
How dare you?
all right. Now, can you find the green?
Also, do you wanna get the for the camera because it's at 37 minutes? You know when you plug it in, like the go on power instead of battery. But
God, it should be.
I think that's gonna be plenty of time for when we have to break everything.
Yeah, I think it will be too. I think it will be too. Okay, let's, somebody wanna bring this light into the back room with me?
He really
David was never seen alone.
So let's bounce it in the back corner.
Matthew, you should do the worm.
Just put this on.
Right now?
Hey, do you want to see my video of Matthew doing the worm last night?
It was that. I didn't do the worm.
How many people do the worm and then just like smack their chin around really hard?
Smack my tummy on the ground.
Well, yeah,
Doing the
but you're
worm?
supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I missed like the first
It's
time.
inevitable.
It's just the old person in me, but my advice would just be to not
You
do
just
the
could not do
worm.
the worm.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Lane pushed me to do the worm.
I mean, in an
Yeah,
attempt.
Lane's a bully.
I'm a
What?
bully?
Hmm?
What'd you say, freak?
Matthew said that.
Okay.
Ouch.
He was on the set of Sports Ball.
Ever since he got a brownie, he changed.
I was gonna say, he's been holding that brownie this whole time. It's
Yeah,
like,
take a little bite.
Well, I
I was gonna say,
took,
please eat it.
I took one bite, then I was like,
Now,
oh,
that
I
brownie's the
shouldn't be
main
eating
character
that.
now, bud.
Take a little nibble, Matthew. Come on.
Did you bring it up
Come
to
on, bud.
share with the class?
Just eat the brownie, quit being weird.
Matthew.
Come on, little freak, eat it.
There you
Yay.
go. Get some sustenance, young.
Okay, we're not really getting much out of the background at all, so let's swing it around.
Yeah,
Let's swing
we
it
didn't get
around.
much out of you eating that brownie, bud. You kinda ruined the shot.
Hey man, speak for yourself. I got all I need.
No, let's leave it there for now. It's got an interesting kind of hot spot too. Okay, is there any other light on in there other than that?
Yes.
Let's kill. Actually, no, they're all the way down.
Turn off the monitors.
I don't like the monitor.
The monitors look cool
Yeah.
though. Ryan, shut up.
Okay, we'll be able to adjust things around here in a minute, because I also don't think, now this is where we're gonna get fancy, okay? I don't think for this scenario that soft, beautiful Rembrandt lighting is what we need. So I need a couple of people to go over there and get that weird C-stand with the black tablecloth on it and kind of make some room and see if we can slide it out here
Is it because it looks more murdery?
and get it about here.
Like, do you think it's more sinister,
What?
this lighting? Is
Yes.
that what you're
Well, I'm working towards it. I don't think it's there yet. I don't think it is yet.
Getting the peer through the blinds lighting.
Now, let's change the blue. Somebody, we can just do it with tape. Let's change the blue to red.
I'm a fan.
There should be some red party gels back in that bag that David's got right there. And let me have the blue. So no, we need the base over there. Okay, whenever you get there, yeah. And do we have any more barn doors or are we out?
We do have more.
All right, Brian, let me have that blue.
Yep. Great.
Barn doors? Actually, we do have barn doors?
That's right.
All right. Now, somebody, I don't know if they're in here or not, at one point asked me about lighting from above, and we got into a conversation about Godfather lighting. So when Gordon Willis, the famous cinematographer, was lighting The Godfather and created that very, very famous lighting from above with all the shadows on the eyes, he did that by creating a giant soft box filling the ceiling, and by hanging black draperies around the softbox so that the light would come straight down, but it would not hit the walls. Okay?
When you say the whole ceiling, do you mean like the whole ceiling?
Big chunk of it. I mean, these were soft boxes that were like 8 feet by 12 feet,
Okay.
you know, or larger.
Don't do any of the other.
Yeah. All right. So, let's get the overheads on for a minute, just so we can see what we're doing. We're gonna have to plug some things in. We're gonna have to get an extension cord for this.
Yeah, I'm good.
Spencer got you.
Sorry, whenever I hear Ryan, I don't know.
So-
what's Ryan.
You'll have to get up and come over and look at some point if you want to now. You're welcome to. What is in here is what is referred to as a China ball, but I'm told that we shouldn't say that anymore. So we can just call it a paper lantern, okay? It's got two really, really large but basically compact fluorescent bulbs inside. And we're going to need to find some power for it, so we're going to need to plug in an extension cable because we're going to be moving this.
Do we have that's the thing that you built?
A fancy
Yes.
stinger.
This morning in about 10 minutes.
I like the green in the background.
Yeah, the green is kind of sickly, isn't it?
Does look pretty.
Yeah. We may have to
It looks
adjust
nice,
some.
though.
We have to adjust some levels here in a minute.
Somebody told me about the Whisper in the Vines video. It had a lot of good green in it. Or the film. The film y'all did.
I'm easy to please. I'm fascinated by this cardboard that has holes cut in it.
Brian, could you walk this out? Let me see if it has any effect. Just walk that whole C-stand away. Yeah, I think we've got that light on.
Is it because the house lights are on?
I'm bringing this, I'm taking this over here for now. Hold on, because I want that lower side to be on the back.
Yeah, I think
Now this does not weigh much.
Excuse me.
Good job, Lane.
Thanks. Good job, Brian.
Thanks.
All right, let's kill the overheads now.
Somebody.
It's gonna strike when we plug it in.
Strike me. Oh, hold on.
I think, it may not, actually.
Striking? Good strike? Actually, no. Hold on. Striking. No.
Okay, yeah, it did. Okay, I'm good.
Striking. Striking.
All right.
it looks really fun.
Do you need another sandbag?
Couldn't hurt.
The lights in.
You got a sandbag? It's right behind you. Why don't
We're in interrogation.
I am gonna write that down, David. I like that. That's fun.
Now, everything is too bright, right, for the purposes that we're going for. So let's start and get our key light set. So, what did I do with it? It's in my pocket. Oh, let's kill everything else. Let's kill the kicker. We can leave the green light on. Let's kill the background light. And let's just see what we're getting just from this.
Looks like a Joker vibe now.
It does look like the Godfather. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it's not crazy. You did what you did.
No, but if it's working, I'm happy because I never know for sure.
It's actually quite sensible.
All right, that's kind of properly exposed, okay? Now, one of the things you'll notice is what this is doing for us is it's keeping all this light from hitting the background, right? That's what this is for, so it keeps it directional. Now, you can change the look by just adjusting the position of the light. If I go further back, it becomes more extreme. If I come forward, I get to start seeing a little bit more of the face. Now, I think for low-key lighting, I want this to be, oh, I was going to say, what percentage are we on? We don't have a way to dim that. It's also much warmer.
When you pull it back, it kind of reminds me, I don't know who film it was with the UFO.
Ah,
Ryan.
that was Ryan.
It reminds me of like that type of visual, like
Nice.
there's a UFO above them. Like,
Okay, so let's go one stop under. All right? Now, I think our background is too bright. So, David, you happen to be right there. What are we on?
100.
Let's take it down to 75.
All right.
Let's leave it there for now. All right, let's turn on our kicker.
This
Backlight? You know he's the kicker.
That's the kicker. That's the kicker.
You okay, Matthew?
Yeah, it just looks so scary.
Matthew's never been a bad guy before. It's new for him. He's processing it all.
Processing the dead bodies in my truck.
You're gonna leave here evil.
I gotta leave here
I
and go to
just look
Walmart.
so cool, I had to commit.
Look in your rear view and there's just a red glow to you.
I gotta work in the back room. Man.
Darth Ferguson.
Let's bring that down just a little bit. How about there? That's looking good. All right, now let's get the background light on. You're right here, Brian. No, I'm sorry. This background light.
Striking, or maybe not. Where's the power button was down here? Striking, boom, nailed it.
Okay.
That's at 100.
Let's now make this a little bit more precise without it being in the camera, in the shot. That's not good.
Highest radio.
So we're at 100 on this?
Yes, sir.
Wow, okay. Okay, now, let's say part of this look that we want to accomplish is a shallower depth of field. It's gonna, did we get a, oh, I can't. So I can't dim these lights. So I can't really, the only thing I can do with this would be to raise this up some. Let's at least do that. Make sure we don't get any light on the back wall.
Now I'm really dark.
Bring it a little forward. Okay. See if that changed anything.
Matthew, this is a favor I cannot do.
All right, that's going to let us get a little dimmer, shallower depth of field because I really need to come to about here. You notice how the background's going darker? Are we in focus?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, but that does mean everything else has to come down as well. So the kicker, let's bring it down just gradually. Keep going. Right there. Let's bring the Venetian light down. Keep going. Let's go right there, and let's bring the green background light down. Okay, up just a little bit from that, David. All right, and then let's actually, I want to darken it just a little bit because I think this flesh tone's a little more, so we'll go to there. It's 5-6. Okay, we are able to now throw the background a little bit out of focus. So let's mix this up a little bit. Yes, David, I do need you to do something.
Are you like a house elf back there?
I want
Somebody
you to
give him a
stand.
sign.
I want you to stand right here,
Boys,
I can do that.
right on the left. Okay.
Say evil thing.
Now,
Evil
I
thing.
need a chair.
Good job. That's what I forgot.
Let's see, I get turned around here. Which side do we need to be on? Over here. Since you happen to be here,
Yep.
watch out for this. I don't like the way that's hanging, but. Take a seat here for a second while I slide you and move you, adjust you a bit. Watch out for that cable. Oh no, that's the wrong side. I'm sorry. Come over here.
Are you gonna make it a dirty single?
Kinda. Yep. Very nice. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Why fight that? All right. Let's bring you in. Let's get this wheel in front.
Where were you on January 6th?
Okay. And bring in a little bit more.
Where is she?
Now that looks good.
Will you just rotate the tripod a little bit?
No, we're good. We got it. We've got it.
Yeah, we got it right.
Okay. David, lean against the door frame to your right.
Ryan, get your head up.
All right. So sit up straight, Ryan.
Selfie?
No, I'm just trying to see. what this
Okay.
looks
Now
like.
you're very critical. So once I set you, you can't move anymore. Okay.
Gotcha.
You hold that hair where it is and
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Let me do a little bit of.
I feel like I've reached the peak standing.
All right. Let me bring you back out a little bit.
And then there's David. Just there. Watching.
Just think they're all critical with your arms.
Low key. Now, let's see what everything is doing. Let's kill the kicker. Let's kill the Venetians. Let's kill the background. All right, so that's what our key light's doing. All right, do we feel like it's too bright? No? We like it? Okay, let's turn on the kicker. And let's kill the, let's see, how do we do that? Of course, it's completely out of hand. Can you get to the plug over there, somebody, and just unplug it for a minute? All right, that's what our kicker's doing. Notice our kicker is also giving us the light that's on our foreground subject, right? All right, let's turn on the Venetian blind and turn off the kicker. Turn off the kicker. Somebody near the kicker? Thank you. That's what our Venetian blind is doing. And now let's turn off the Venetian blind and turn on the background green. And that's what our green light is doing. So let's turn these on in a specific order. Let's now turn on the Venetian blind.
Striking.
Let's now turn on the kicker.
Striking.
Let's now turn on the key. Got about 5 minutes before we have to start packing up. Who wants to play with this? Change something, pick something up, do something different. By the way, while you're doing that, I just do want to show that we can also do this. Right, we can really start letting his face go much more in darkness. Okay. This may be the best one of these we've done, I gotta admit. I'm glad I got that China ball film this morning.
Yeah. Oh, you made that?
Yeah.
You made the China ball?
Well, I mean, I bought the China ball, but I made the rig.
Where'd you buy the China, or the ball?
Amazon.
He said, or the ball.
When we get finished, we're packing up. I'll show you guys what's inside there because it's they are comically large compact fluorescent bulbs. I mean, it's silly how big.
I was
they
gonna
are.
say, can you pretty much do the same effect of holding the light, or does it have to be something?
You could do it with,
Nobody
you
else
could
wanted
do
us
it,
to
you
know
could
why,
take
we should
the,
keep moving
you know the soft box we had? You could put that up there. It just takes
Make it
something a
all
lot
come like
stronger.
that.
You really shouldn't do that with a C-stand. We do have, and I've never gotten it out to play with it to understand what it's doing. We do have a, some kind of large arm to raise lights up in the air. And it's also a matter of how much space do you have.
True.
Right.
Okay, Spencer. Okay, let him cook.
Making them super.
Does
That's gonna be like.
Does the lantern effect, could you get that if you
If you
suspended
maybe
like a
closer to
spotlight?
him.
Or is the
Closer to
softness
him.
And then
of
bring it
it
down,
an important
maybe.
factor?
I think for Godfather lighting, the softness is important. I think when you take the softness off, it starts to look really harsh. There's no problem with that, you know, if it
But
does that.
it wouldn't give you like the smoky room type vibe as much if it was like a spotlight, maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, that would be. Oh, there we go.
Something over the lens of this right here.
Now you're not gonna, since that's such a soft light,
It
you're
is
not gonna
soft.
get
No.
shadows. Soft lights won't really give you shadows, only hard lights will really give you shadows.
What does it do? It diffuses it.
It does, it's just kind of
Godfather
it's
lives in
breaking
the
it up a
shadow.
little bit.
Yeah.
You don't throw shadows.
I was trying to get that red to be all
He is the shadow.
Venetian down.
Yeah, so what you need to do is get that Venetian blind as close to him as you can without it being in the shot. Because the closer it is to him, the more defined it will be.
Luckily, you have Ryan's big head to protect.
See, now you're starting to get something, you can actually kind of raise it up a little bit, you can get the shadow across his eyes if you want it to be.
Yeah. I like that where his eye is not in shadow.
And you can also play around with, you know, with contrast. You can play around with how bright that light is compared to the one over top. We're kind of locked into the one over top. Complex fluorescence you can't dim. So, other than distance, that's the only way we can adjust the light of that. But you might want to see what this looks like without the China
Turn
bulb, without the soft light.
This way, Ryan's face isn't good.
Thank you.
Ooh, look at that. That's nice.
What do you guys think? Without the red or with the red on Ryan?
I like the red on Ryan.
Now keep in mind, this is broadside lighting, right?
Yes.
Which is not always my favorite, but
Looks like you're standing next to like an oven that's on.
why don't you bring
It's at the end of Terminator 2.
bring the level of, while we got this set up, bring the level of that light down a little bit, and let's.
I'm not actually, I mean, like
That's good.
the lines across the face and stuff.
You said you.
That's a thing that happens.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying it's exactly reminiscent, just that one singular aspect.
You sound like somebody poking me in the ear slowly.
maybe in the first one in the police interrogation scene.
No, I mean like when they're in the factory.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, when they're going through all the grades and stuff. I could be wrong. I don't remember it. I don't even know the word. Photogenic? No.
Photogeometry.
I don't remember it. I don't have a photographic memory.
Picturology.
So you can't replace the bulbs in those lamps, correct?
In this one or these?
No,
Those.
they're not really lamps. They're not really
Yeah.
bulbs in there. Okay, who wants to do something else?
I'm gonna just
I had a thought, but now I'm too stupid to remember.
What thing? What are you plugging in, bud?
Striking.
I feel like that's my
That thing.
What is that that you just plugged in?
Top light.
No, I'm just.
What's it called though?
Why don't you bring it over here as a kind of a fill and put some shadows on it from here? I mean, as a key, actually. So
Oh, China.
That could
Instead
be
of
Disney.
me.
2023,
Now
bud.
it's like there's a siren
Christmas.
going
He's
on.
like evil Christmas. This is great.
It's Violent Night, y'all.
So you're right closer.
I'm the Grinch, the 8th interpretation.
There's an eighth.
No, but there will be eventually.
now, if you move the light back, we'll also get a little more
Eventually.
definition on those lines.
Yeah, it's very Christmassy. Very Christmassy.
People who go see
Like
it just
married.
got Christmas
Or
on
it's
the
red, or it's like a stoplight. You know? Doesn't have to be Christmas.
Well, I don't want to make a movie about stopping at a red light. That seems quite boring, young man.
Well, it's like that scene from Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, where
where,
it goes green and then.
yeah, yeah.
There was a nice little moment.
That was a nice lighting moment. I was like, okay,
That's really neat. You could tell someone had that idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It's really
there's-
creative.
Wait,
We want
which
you a little
scene?
bit more.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Homecoming. Frick. Sorry. Homecoming.
What was going on?
What's Michael Keaton realizes that Shyamalan is firing this.
Oh,
In
yeah,
the
when
car.
they're sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
It's a good moment. There's not a lot of moments like that in Marvel movies.
Yeah, that whole scene was pretty nice.
Matthew, what are you thinking about?
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
And then the end was like,
The stoplight lighting.
There have been plenty of times, by the way, I've gone in here and dimmed and opened up the, dimmed and brightened the monitors, but I'm not gonna get into that.
I like Michael Keaton a lot.
Now, we started off relatively motivated, meaning the lighting makes sense. It looks like lights are coming from places where there could be sources. We're getting a little more sort of Suspiria, Dario Argento abstract, which there's nothing wrong with. And you could certainly justify this lighting. You could establish fluorescent lights outside the window, right? You could establish, like in Vertigo, there's these green neon lights outside. The other thing, if I can remember how to do this, you guys are gonna love this. Hold on.
Yeah.
At a party. Oh, wow.
Stop.
Is that the fireworks setting?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've used that before. What?
In the recent movies where he kind of like pulses like blue
Oh yeah.
underwater.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's
When they're all like,
It's random pulsing?
sitting at the window.
Yeah.
Depends on which setting. I keep trying to hit land on TV and I keep missing
You're
it.
so good at it.
Are these available at
I
our
love
checkout?
Mental.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
I'm sure if it was like a specialized class.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's fucking incredible.
Single cam alone, we couldn't.
No, but you can now.
Let's set you up for an interview next. I've been
It's
trying out for the
hilarious
Flash for
that-
9 years now.
Why does it not keep going? Why
Rebuild
does it
of
stop?
Evangelion, they did all
Barry
the
Allen's
movies
my
was
third
to fund
cousin.
Shin Godzilla.
It is.
Just like a passion
Is it the
project.
Go watch
frequency?
Yeah, they
Matt
just
Clay's
did that
YouTube
to
channel.
Maybe.
You
Oh
can
yeah,
watch Flash
frequency
movies.
is one. Let me see how I've changed
Yeah.
that.
True story.
It's a shame. It's a shame about those movies though, because they suck. The first one's alright.
So considering in most shots
Second movie's.
or most conversations or
I've
in most
watched
films,
them.
the lighting
I
changes every angle.
Guess there's.
How do
not
you feel
bothered.
about that? Like, do you think there needs to be consistency with angle changes, or most viewers aren't thinking about that?
I think, and if you'll look at the PowerPoints, you will see. I think it's perfectly acceptable to change the lighting. I think you have to change it subtly. I don't think you can make huge. You can get away with huge changes. I mean, very famously, they shot this giant scene in the movie Gandhi, and the director wanted everyone backlit. It's a huge crowd scene, like a riot, right? So in the morning, they shot looking this way with the sun behind them, and in the afternoon, they shot this way with the sun behind them, and they just cut it all together. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. There's a scene from a movie called, oh shoot, it's Michael Keaton and Maggie Q. Look in the PowerPoint. There's a very clear scene where you've got a two-shot, it's lit one way, and you go in the close-ups, they've moved the lights around.
Well, yeah.
Okay, we need to get everything packed up now, guys.
Don't a lot of Coen Brothers movies do that too?
I think every movie does that.
Well, sure, but I imagine I remember Coen Brothers having really stylistic kind of lighting with that.
Yeah.
Like Big Lebowski.
I mean, almost always, when you move from your wider shots to your tighter shots, you do tweaking. And tweaking is you can get the lights closer, you can get them angled a little bit better. What I've always been told is, as long as the key light is coming from the same direction, the same kind of side, you can get away with murder.
You know
Yeah,
what
it reminds
movies
me
have
of-
the most consistent lighting?
I'm sorry.
No, you.
Suspiria.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. We got 5 minutes, so we're gonna have to get things cracking here.